have recovered from the obsession of drinking alcohol. I am standing here today because I do not look like where I've been. And it's all because of the grace of God and the fellowship of God's program. Yes, as I stand here, I was listening to the testimonies, and I can completely relate. I was ashamed. I had a lot of guilt. I was in a lot of deep, deep pain. And I really didn't understand a lot of my pain. All I knew is that I had a hole in my soul and that it hurt. It was so painful I could feel the hole. It was a hole in my soul, and I didn't know what to do. And it was an extremely dark place for me. It was. As I said, I've recovered from the obsession of drinking, and I was drinking a lot of alcohol. I stand here today because I have to thank God for allowing me the opportunity to talk to you about this. I am no longer ashamed. I'm not ashamed. This is the Lord's doing. For me to stand here and be alive and talk about how you can recover, and He is still a healer. He is. I drank a lot of alcohol. The desire left not only my heart, but my mind. Yeah. I had a huge battle in my mind between my heart, my mind, my soul, my spirit. Oh, I was a mess. I was a mess. And it's not because I didn't love the Lord and I didn't know the Lord. No, this was different. I've known the Lord since I was 7. I loved the Lord. Even though I didn't fully, completely understand all of it at 7, I knew I loved Him. I knew I loved Him. So I'm going to read to you. I just started writing. I'll read to you some of the things that I have. I said, I grew up having all and everything a loving parent could give their child. My mother, Phyllis Matten, right there, is my mom. I grew up having everything. You know, my mom and my dad, they were married, and then we moved back to Kansas City, my mom and I. My mom went to school. She got her nursing degree. She put me through school. So I had, you know, food, shelter, love, guidance, piano lessons, ballet lessons, any other lessons you can name. But when my mom and I moved back to Kansas City from St. Louis, I spent a lot of time with my grandmother because because my mom was, you know, working and going to school. So I spent a lot of time with her, my grandmother. I hung out with her, and I went to church with my grandmother a lot. I don't know if any of you are familiar with grandmothers back in the day that went to church a lot, but mine went to church like 4 and 5 times a week. Missionary service, choir service. She was in the kitchen, and, you know, she was doing everything, prayer service and everything. So, and I was there. So I learned a lot of that, understanding and knowing the Lord from my grandmother, and watching her pray, watching her be kind and loving to those that were homeless and didn't have. She would feed them. She would bring them into her home and feed them. I saw that. when I was young, my father was murdered. I was about 6 years old. I found out that he was murdered and addicted to cocaine. So that, I have some things on my father's side. I had some other alcohol and some other things on my mother's side. And I said, man, I'm never going to do this. I am not doing this, And then as I got older, I realized that I really didn't understand how to deal with life on life's terms. I didn't. And I'm not blaming anyone. I won't do that. I take full responsibility for every single thing that I did, first of all. That was a part of my recovery, taking full responsibility. But I also, I know that there were a lot of things that I didn't understand. I did not understand how to have boundaries. I didn't understand how to deal with my stress, my anxiety, my fears, my, everything that was really, really deep, my resentments. I didn't know. So as I got older and I realized, hey, I'm an adult and I got to pay bills and, take care of things, I started drinking on and off, on and off. Actually, I had my first drink when I was 18 years old. I was in college. I went to a toga party. Yeah. Who said that? Yeah. I went to a toga party. And I didn't, I was like, okay, I'll try it. Didn't know I was going to like it, but I tried it. But at that point, it wasn't like an ongoing thing. I just tried it out of curiosity. And then as I got older, I don't know. I guess I was in my late 20s or whatever. I worked for a company, a mortgage company, and we started this routine that every Friday we would go out after work to a bar. And I did. I was there. It wasn't something that I felt like my body had to have at that time. It was the thing to do. It was social, as they say. But things just, there was still that void. It was still a void. And I got older, and my mind just started spinning. I mean, it's a lot of details. I could be up here all day. But I started drinking, and there was so much drinking, there was not enough alcohol in the world. I'm serious. And it happened just like that. Just like that. And I was the person that said it would never happen to me. Yeah. It happened just like that. And alcohol became my best friend. It became my best friend. It knew how to talk to me. It was like, oh, I can take your pain away. I can make you feel better. I'll be your best friend. I'll be there. I'll comfort you. And it reminded me of the Garden of Eden. It reminded me of when the serpent was talking to Eve, and how he was talking to her. And to me, in my opinion, she became confused. He started messing with her mind and questioning her. The questions is what confused her. And that's what alcohol was to me, the serpent. It was messing with my mind, and talking to me, questioning me, and I got deeper and deeper into a pit. Really, that's what happened. And there came a point where my body needed it. I didn't want it. I needed it. Yeah, because it was like a vicious circle. I was ashamed for what I was doing. So to numb the shame, I would drink. Yeah. And but the thing is, because of my foundation, my spiritual foundation, and this is going to sound crazy, but even though I was drinking, I always prayed. I sure did. I knew there was a God. I knew it. And there were a lot of times that I was so angry with them. I was so angry. Why me? Really? You know? And I just did not understand. I didn't understand. But as things continue to get worse and worse and worse, because I did not want to listen to what God was trying to tell me to do, I was running from him at that point. Running from my shame and my guilt. And because I did not want to listen to him, I had what I call my Jonah moment. Yeah. I ran the complete opposite direction. Yeah, complete opposite. Then I became mad at everybody and everything, and I was blaming everybody and everything for everything. Yeah. Until God saved me. And then I had my fish moment. Well, when I was swallowed, I was. And in this dark, deep, dry place was when I finally heard from the Lord. He said, have you had enough? When are you going to listen to me? When are you going to listen to me? And I remember going in a bathroom, small bathroom, and I turned off the light, and I got on the floor, and I put the toilet lid down, and I hugged the toilet, and I said, I'm done. I can't do this. Lord, I need you. Without you, I am going to die. Yeah, because I remember getting to that point. I said, I don't want to hurt anybody else. I'm tired of hurting myself. I'm tired of everything. I'm just causing too many problems. You know? And I remember I said, I'm done. I can't do this. And it was when I completely 100% surrendered is when I had just a spark of hope. And that was enough to get me through the next day. That was just enough to get me through the next day. And God has been dropping little nuggets. He's been dropping little nuggets saying, I know what plans I have for you. I have a purpose and a plan because my thoughts are higher than your thoughts. My ways are higher than your ways. And so now I'm just following the Lord because I don't know where I'm going. I'm just doing it blindly. I'm doing this blindly, but I can tell you 100% because of the Lord, I am recovered. I follow him because I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trusting him. I know he loves me. And my purpose is to encourage and help any and everyone else by sharing the gift of life that God has given me. Thank you.